What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Chopper channel, coming to you with my 3 favorite prize picks for week 17. Hit that like button, subscribe button, and notification bell as we get going. Goes a long way for me on this video, goes a long way for you because you become a prize whenever great content is going live here on our little neck of the woods here on YouTube. I'm coming on 3 straight profitable weeks, 3 straight 3 of 3 cards, running very hot here in the prize pick streets. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed some of the fruits of that labor, but I got my 3 favorite picks here coming up for Sunday. Looking forward to this card, and I think it's a very straightforward one. A couple of fantasy scores that stuck out to me. I'm going to give you one of those for sure, but if you want my entire card, head to that video description box below. Should be a link to sign up at stochastic.com/Lindy, and then use promo code ELInsider to get you a free week of all of my premium picks that I have going over there. But let's get to the board here. Looking forward to this week 17. 2 more weeks in the regular season. Don't worry, I'm sure I'll be doing some playoff content here for the prize pick streets. But we're going to start off with Christian McCaffrey here. I really like his receiving yards prop. I should just type in his name. That's going to save us all time rather than me. Oh, there's a lot of Chris's. There we go. Christian McCaffrey is who we want, and we want more than 31.5 receiving yards. Don't forget, use promo code Stochastic also to get $100 first match deposit bonus. Very, very important here. But Christian McCaffrey, he didn't really do much of anything last week. I think from a DFS perspective, all the people who played him, in terms of props, everybody who played him felt very disappointed. Just 46 yards rushing, 12 reception yards. But it was kind of an outlier spot where George Kittle had 2 long touchdown catches. A lot of ways where Christian McCaffrey didn't necessarily end up in the game script the way we expected. But a couple of things that work out well here. One, you're the favorite on the road here because you're facing Jared Stidham in this Vegas Raiders defense that's not very good. And 2, I think you're looking at him maybe getting a little bit of an increased workload, knowing Elijah Mitchell is coming back next week. Yes, Elijah Mitchell scheduled to be back for week 18 here. So I think Christian McCaffrey could see a little bit more work than normal here. Once you see Elijah Mitchell get activated off the ER, he didn't practice on Friday, so I don't think he's getting activated before this game. But next week, yeah, you could be looking at more of that split that we've seen at times where Christian McCaffrey and Elijah Mitchell just kind of had not a 50-50, but like a 60-40 going McCaffrey's way. We know his involvement in the passing game. We saw it in Carolina. We're seeing it here in San Francisco. I think this is one week where you just want to be invested. He is projecting out phenomenally well across the board. I thought about projecting or talking about rushing touchdowns for him. I think the 19.5 fantasy score is even too low if you want to go that direction. But my favorite of everything here that we're looking at is the receiving yards, averaging north of 40 per game on the season. Give me all you got. Christian McCaffrey, 31.5 receiving yards. Alrighty, y'all. Who do I want to pair with him? Well, I like correlation. It's very, very fun. I think it's one of the edges you have playing over at PrizePicks as opposed to your traditional sports book. So we want more on a 15 fantasy score for my guy out of Iowa State, Mr. Brock Purdy. Now, he's been sensational. He's been absolutely insane here. When you look at the PrizePicks scoring, let's pull that up here because, we have the time for things. We're looking at no bonuses the way that you might on DK or other places where you get some kind of a multiplier for over 300 yards, but I'm not really even worried about that. For me, it's just how good his rapport has been, not just with McCaffrey at times here, but specifically George Kittle. And I thought about some George Kittle props. I think they're just a little bit high for my liking. So I'm sticking with the Brock Purdy one. We have on DK for Brock Purdy over an 18 fantasy score projection. He's been more than adequate running this offense here as a rookie. Pretty incredible story that we're seeing from my guy out of Iowa State. But so far, 8 touchdowns on the season. I think that just that involvement, 2 touchdowns in 4 straight starts. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous what we're seeing. If you get those 2 out of him, that's 8 along with a decent amount of yardage, just around 200 yards passing. You're there. 15 fantasy score looks really, really nice to me. I think it correlates also nicely. I love how he doesn't even have a face there. He's the faceless man. It correlates with my McCaffrey play. So if his receiving yards go well, I think Brock Purdy is a big part of that. Kind of another reason that I like getting to that McCaffrey prop above all else. All right. And my last play of the day, and this breaks my heart. If you followed my fantasy content this entire year, this man has truly got me in some kind of a way here, but I want a less than 7 fantasy score for Marquez Valdes-Scantling. MVS, coming into the season, I was so high on him. And The first couple of weeks of the season, it looked pretty good in terms of what his opportunity could be. We saw 73, 79, 78, 81, 82% of the snaps, 84% of the snaps in week 10. But since then, we've seen an emergence of Justin Watson, Sky Moore getting on the field a little bit more, Juju Smith-Schuster emerging as the main number one wide receiver behind Travis Kelce being the main pass catcher, of course. But look at these snap shares since week 11, 71, 58, 56, 51, 53, and then 43% of the offensive snaps against Seattle in that 24-10 win. I am very worried that MVS is going to be a 35 or 40% type offensive snap guy. Now, I'm actually encouraging it now. Best ball is done. We don't have to think about him from a DFS perspective because I'm really not going to get there in any kind of a meaningful way. But when you start seeing 43% of the offensive snaps, and now Kadarius Toney, the big name that I omitted there, Kadarius Toney is going to start seeing the field more. This guy coming out of college, I could not have been higher on. An athletic freak, first rounder there by the Giants. Didn't necessarily get along with everything going on there. I'm not sure what the issue was other than his hamstring at times. If he's healthy, Kadarius Toney is the guy you want on the field more than MVS. I'll just admit it. I didn't know Toney was going to get traded to this football team, but you have to react to what's in front of you. And what I see is very little opportunity for MVS, somebody who hasn't been targeted on the field very much when Patrick Mahomes has looked or has had MVS on the field. You're not going to see him on the field more. I really cannot imagine a scenario where I want to be invested in Marquez Valdes-Scantling to do anything good. So that means we are going to the opposite side, less than a 7 fantasy score for MVS. What a time to be alive. But there's my card. Christian McCaffrey, more than 31.5 receiving yards. Brock Purdy, 15 fantasy score. Marquez Valdes-Scantling, 7. I want less on his 7 fantasy score as well. Let me know in the comment section below what your favorite plays are on PrizePicks for Week 17. But most importantly, use promo code Stochastic. See, it says up there in that top right corner, we'll match your first deposit up to $100. That's great stuff. So you go to the link below. It takes you all of 2 seconds. So go sign up. I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the NFL streets for Week 17.